Praise the Lord. Welcome to the series titled Miracles from the Bible. I am Dr. Johnson, Cherian. I will be reading a small passage from Exodus chapter 17, verses 8 to 13. Now Amalek came and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moses said to Joshua, "Choose us some men and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand." So Joshua did as Moses said to him and fought with Amalek, and Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And so it was when Moses held up his hand that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands became heavy. So they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. God gives a great victory here to Moses, Joshua, and all the Israelites. We read that Amalek came and fought with Israel at Rephidim, and Moses, he gave Joshua the authority to go and fight with Amalek. He says, "Choose some men and go out, fight with Amalek tomorrow, and I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in my hand." Now Moses here commands Joshua to fight with the Amalekites, but he is going on the top of the hill to pray and intercede to God for victory. And that is what he is doing here. Joshua did as Moses told him and fought with Amalek, but Moses, his brother Aaron, and we read about Hur, who went up to the top of the hill, and so it was when Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed. He is just not holding up his hand, but he is praying and interceding for victory here. And the miracle that I want to talk to you about this day is the miracle that happens when we intercede for other people or for our own people. Here we see Moses interceding with God. He is not just lifting up his hands and standing there. He has the rod of God in his hand, but he is also praying for victory for Joshua. Joshua is fighting with the Amalekites, and we read that whenever Moses' hands were held high, praying to the Lord, interceding, that Israel was winning. But when Moses' hands they became tired, Amalekites started winning. So the prayer of a righteous man is so very important, and prayer of righteous people is very important in our life as believers too. We cannot stand alone in this world and fight all our battles against Satan. We need other believers who are in unity with us and praying with us to God. And we see Aaron and Hur helping Moses here. Aaron and Hur, they took a stone and put it under Moses, and Moses sat on it. And Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on both sides, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. So up to a point, till God gave the victory to Joshua and the Israelites, Moses held his hands up. It was Aaron on one side and Hur on the other side who were supporting his hands. So here is a collective prayer, corporate prayer as we see here, for victory against the enemy, the Amalekites. Joshua was fighting the war, that is true, but Moses was interceding with Aaron and Hur till the end of the battle. And we read, his hands were steady until the going down of the sun, and Joshua defeated Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. There's a great miracle that is happening here when the people of God get together and pray to God. God does a miracle. Not just because Moses was holding his hands high that Israelites were winning, they were interceding and praying to God that God may give victory to Joshua. In your life as a believer, as a minister of God, you need ministers or believers who are in unity with you in prayer, and when they pray for you, you will be delivered from many calamitous situations in your life too. Maybe it's a sickness, or maybe it is another bondage that Satan brings into your lives. But when the people of God pray together for you, God does a miracle. That's a miracle here. The miracle that happens when people of God intercede. And we see Moses, Aaron and Hur, they were interceding with God. Moses holding up his hands with the rod of God in his hand. And they, along with Joshua, got a great victory over the Amalekites. So there's something for us to learn from this miracle that God did for the Israelites. When the people of God come together in unity and pray and intercede, God does great miracles for them. So God gave Moses, Aaron, Hur, Joshua and all the Israelites a great victory over the Amalekites. And God will give you great victories against your foe Satan when the people of God get together and intercede with you and for you. May God bless you with these thoughts this day. Praise the Lord.